everybody, and welcome back to an episode from JK with the AK. Guys, this is a video which I think a lot of you need, and a lot of you have been asking me for this, and this is mainly aimed at the new people to the game and all the people who are buying the game from my live streams. And yeah, they are in need of this video, and a lot of experienced people might like this as well. So this is going to be a complete combat guide in my own thoughts and opinions on every weapon in the Culling. So let's start with one I've accidentally picked up. We're going to start with tier 1 weapons. So these are weapons when you're running around, you go in buildings and you will find them about. Let's start with the one which I picked up accidentally. Where is it? Here. So brass knuckles. They're a tier 1 bludgeon. Damage is 5 to 15, which can vary with critical shots and stuff. You ain't going to use these to throw, really, and they've got cripple on them. But if I see brass knuckles, I will use them. They're a good weapon. If probably, in my opinion, maybe third best tier 1 weapon. We'll get to those as well. The hammer is also a tier 1 bludgeon. Same amount of damage, but it does cripple. But if you look here, cripple with brass knuckles is an extra 5%. So it's obvious there by the stats. Same amount of damage, but brass knuckles does more cripple. So you're going to use brass knuckles over the hammer any day of the week. I do like the hammer, but if this is 2, you get brass knuckles definitely. And you go over here and you're going to sell the hammer like so. Just as easy as that to the funk machine. Anyway, Tonfa. Now, the Tonfa, in my opinion, is the second best tier 1 weapon. You look at the stats, same amount of damage as the brass knuckles, and it's 10% cripple as well. So basically, these two are exactly the same as stat, but Tonfa and brass knuckles are very close to the top 2 tier 1 weapons, in my opinion. So another one is the Camp Hatchet. Camp Hatchet has got less damage than the Tonfa and the brass knuckles, and it does exposed damage instead of cripple. Now, I'm not a fan of the Camp Hatchet whatsoever, so that doesn't come close to these two in my own opinion. And we'll get to the next one, which is the Pitchfork. We will chuck the Camp Hatchet now. And the Pitchfork is one you find quite often. It does the same amount of damage as the Tonfa and the brass knuckles, and it does 2 to 6 armor shredding, which is very handy. And if you're very good at the game, experienced people might change this, even if they've got a really good weapon, just to work on that armor a little bit better. But personally, I'm not a fan of the Pitchfork, so that doesn't come close to these two. So yeah, Pitchfork is not for me. Then we get to, in my opinion, the best weapon. The best tier 1 weapon by a mile, in my opinion, is the Tanto Knife. So, stats, damage, it says, don't always go with the damage, by the way, guys. You can do a lot more damage than what it states. And a lot less as well. But the Tanto Knife, if you get this and you haven't got a tier 2 weapon, 100% use it. It does bleed 1 damage per second. So you're going to do an extra 10 damage. If you just hit someone once, back away, you're going to be doing taking health off them every second. So in my opinion, the Tanto Knife, especially for newbies, is a bloody good weapon. Especially with Brutus as well. And another one, which is a very interesting one, is the Machete. Now, if I haven't got a Tanto Knife and I want a bleed effect, or Brutus, I will use a Machete. Now, this does 0.6 damage per second, so it will do, over the course of however long, it will do 6 damage instead of the 10 with the Tanto Knife. This is nowhere near as good as the Tanto Knife, in my opinion. But it's still a decent weapon, the Machete. The problem with it is it's quite sluggish and slow. So you're going to have to do a lot of hitting, backing up, block and block and block, and then doing the hit. But with the Tanto Knife, you can get some rushes in, blocks, shoves, and goes for the backstab. Machete, in my opinion, is not near the best tier 1 weapons. If you ever get an alarm gun, guys, just sell it. Just sell it. You can use it if you want and get the shot to tag someone, so then they highlight on the map. Yeah, and you can make new ammo for it, but what I do is if there's someone near, I'll tag them and then just sell it. It's just a waste of time. Just sell them. So guys, tier 1 weapons, if you're going around looking, you want to find a Tonfa, because they've got that cripple effect which can really hurt your enemy, and they're good for damage, or the Tanto Knife. Tanto Knife is your first choice, then the Tonfa, and then I'd probably go for the brass knuckles to be your third pick for the tier 1 weapons. Anyway, into tier 2 weapons. Now, not all tier 2 weapons are better than the Tantanite. I will just confirm that. So yeah, we'll start off now with the pike. Pike is normally an airdrop you'll get. You can get this from green supply crates as well. It's very good shredding on armor. It's an upgraded pitchfork pretty much. Good for damage, and a lot of people get these just to throw. Along with the javelin. So pikes are overall decent. Javelin and the pike, out of the two, pike is going to get you more damage than the javelin. That's why the airdrop is more popular. But the pike you're going to use as a weapon. The javelin you can use as a throw weapon, and the javelin is good as a throw weapon. But the javelin's also good at speed. So you can really get the quick hits in with a javelin, and it could do some damage. So javelin is actually quite good, and I might even pick this over the normal survival pike. But I'm probably going to put the pike ahead of the javelin. Another one which you get quite often in green crates is the kukri. Kukuri? I'm not sure. It's got the same bleed effect as a Tantanite, which makes it a popular tier 2 choice, and it's got more damage. So the Kukuri is probably, I'd say, but you got to think though, the Kukuri is less damage than the Javelin. I'd probably go with the Kukuri over the Javelin, so we'll get rid of the Javelin. We're going to keep the Kukuri still in for the top tier 2 weapons. The Saber, not as much bleed effect as the Kukuri, but it does normally do, as a rule of the thumb, it does normally do more damage than the Kukuri, but yeah, I'm going to keep the Saber going. I'm not going to have the Pike. And then next tier 2 weapon, another one which you get in green crates quite often, is the Crowbar. Now the Crowbar does a good 10% cripple damage, which is very popular amongst players. It's got decent damage, it's fast as well, so you can really hit people just like the Javelin. But really the Kukuri, that 1 damage per second is still, the players love it and it's beneficial, and I really wouldn't mind it. But the Crowbar is quite good, but I'm not going to have the Crowbar in this best tier 2. The Steel Wench is slow. It's got 10% cripple, and it does generally do quite a lot of damage as Steel Pipe, a lot more than it suggests. I quite like the Steel Pipe. This is just a matter of fun, guys. This is my own choice. I've not watched any videos or how best weapons or nothing, but this is my choice. Top tier 1 weapons, as I say, is Brass Knuckles in third. Second, I'd go for the Tonfa, and first, the Tanto Knife. Just trying to think what else there is. I'd probably get rid of the, just trying to think. Kukuri, I'm going to just drop a minute. The Ice Axe, exposed damage. Kukuri's literally just a little bit better than the Tantanite, but that jump, really. The Saber I love. The Saber's a popular choice. Steel Pipe might be a lot slow and sluggish for most people. So I'm going to keep the Kukuri still in my top 3 at the moment. The Cleaver, though, has got a 20% expose. 20% expose. So that gets you the Ice Axe straight away. About 20% expose with a little less damage, and it's a good. So that comes into the top. And yeah, so the best tier 2 weapons, a lot of you will disagree, some of you will agree, I'm going to probably say, is probably the Cleaver coming in at the best tier 2 weapon. A lot of people are going to disagree with that, but it's definitely up there. The Saber and the Kukuri, I'm probably going, the Saber might be second, and the Kukuri will probably come in third, or the other way around. So they're weapons you should be looking out for from green supply crates. Crowbar could also jump on that list as well, probably. Anyway, tier 3, guys. You're getting them mid-game drops for 100 funk. You're going to want a bloody good weapon for tier 3. So I'm going to run through tier 3, my personal opinion on the best tier 3 weapons. We're going to leave that Sledgehammer because that's a tier 4. Anyway, between the Baseball Bat and the Pipe Wench. The Pipe Wench is slow and does more damage than the Baseball Bat. But the Baseball Bat has got 20% cripple. Pipe Wench has also got 20% cripple, so that even there, the throws are even. The damage is literally 1 or 2 lower on the Pipe Wrench, but the Baseball Bat is so much quicker. So that's what makes Pipe Wrench not even included in the best weapons for tier 3. Baseball Bat is definitely one of them. That's the same with the Survival Axe and the Tomahawk. Tomahawk, They're both Tomahawk. The survival axe, let's just get to that, is a 30% expose. That's insane. The Tomahawk is only 20%, but the Tomahawk is super quick, and it does rack up that damage. So I'm going to say the survival axe has got to be, that 30% expose can really hurt some people. I'm going to say the survival axe might be, you know, that little bit better than the Tomahawk. And the tier 3, you get a lot of choice with these. The survival spear, I'm not a massive fan of this at all. It's slow. It's very good for doing damage to armour, and the damage is a lot better than the survival axe. But I've got to get rid of that survival spear. I'm sorry, people. And the Yari is fast. It does good damage. It shreds armour, not as much as the survival spear, but the Yari is definitely coming in the top 3. Now, another one which might interest you is the tactical machete. I use this sometimes. It's got a 1 bleed damage per second, so it's matched the Kukuri and the Tanto knife. It's good damage, and it's a decent little weapon indeed. The tactical machete, I've got to say, would probably just knock out the Yari from my top 3, you know? And let's just compare these. That expose. No, I'm going to get rid of this, and Yari will come in. Now, the tactical machete now will go out of the top 3 easily, with the Bowie knife coming in with a 1.4 damage per second. So, if you want a mid-game blade airdrop, you'll have a choice between the tactical machete and the Bowie knife, I believe. Let me tell you guys, this is a beast. You got the damage, you got the throw damage, you got the bleed. That bleed is massive. So, Bowie knife will come in easily in the top 3 tier 3 weapons, in my personal opinion. And yeah, so I'd say the Yari coming in at the 3rd. Maybe the tactical machete would hop in there, but that's the 3rd best tier 3 weapon you're going to get from a drop. Then I'm going to go for the Bowie knife with that 1.4 damage per second for 2nd best weapon you want to look for. And I'm actually going to go for the baseball bat for the most popular, probably, and the best tier 3 weapon you're going to want. A lot of endgame fights end with the baseball bat nowadays, and that's a bloody good weapon to have. So look out for the baseball bat in your airdrop. Right, guys, we are coming down to the tier 4s now. The late game, the things you're going to want from the 200 spawners, the things you're going to want from your late game airdrops. First of all, I'm just going to say, getting the golden crowbar and getting the special event what happens and getting this chainsaw, it's a 20 damage per second. It takes a while to get it started, but when you do, you can block with it, you can shove with it, and you can hold it in. Now, 20 damage a second is it's good. It takes out, it disarms every weapon, I believe. It's a good weapon, but I can't. Literally, someone only has to hit you with it and it goes flying. So the chainsaw is not even gonna get included, you know, in this best tier 4s. Chainsaw I class as a tier 4, but I don't even think it is. Now, coming in first is the Trident. Shreds 5 to 12 armor, which is beastly. Damage is nearly 8 to 27, which is insane. I'll get rid of the Bowie knife. Next up is the Fireman's Axe, which does a lot less damage than the Trident. It's got a 30% expose. You're not going to worry about the throws, so they're level with throws, but I'm going to say the Trident is better than the Fireman's Axe. Personal opinion. Next up is the Katana. Now, the Katana is fast. It does 1.4 damage per second, so it matches the Bowie knife, which come close to winning tier 3. It does less damage than the Trident, but it's fast, so it makes up for that. But anyway, guys, top 3 in my opinion is the Sledgehammer at 3rd, which I can't actually find. Is it here? No, that's disappeared for some reason. So the Sledgehammer 3rd. 2nd is the Trident, in my personal opinion. And 1st is the Katana by a country mile. See the damage you can cause with a Katana? It's an absolute beast. If you get it, or if you're a very good player at the game, have it as a 200 airdrop so you get it every game. Try and get it with a 200 match spawn, as you see them big red things with the question mark in them. It's a bloody good weapon. Katana wins, the best weapon in my opinion on the Culling. And a little bit of explanation here. I'm going to explain everything in here, everything in the game. You've got pepper spray, which you'll get very, very often. Now, what I generally do is, if someone's close to me, early game, I'll spray it. It blinds them, it disorientates them. I never use it late game, so this is just something you sell to get extra funk. The stun gun, I will use most of the time, because it's generally quite good. And it will stun someone, and you can get a free shot on them, and that could be pinnacle. So stun gun is something you want to use. Regarding backpacks, are something you want to put on and you get extra 5 slots. Or if you have 30 funk, punch the floor, you'll get a stone, and then craft it into armour. And tactical body armour absorbs 20% of incoming damage and destroyed after it receives 60 points of damage. So that armour is really, really good. Now, orange juice is something you can rarely find in a fridge or in a medicine cabinet. Very rarely, but the orange juice you can sometimes buy for 150 funk at the centre. If you do, if it's there, get it because it's OP. It gives you insane effects. Hemoblast is something if you want to use straight away because it gives you an extra 10 health on your character for the rest of the game, which is a very beneficial thing. Silent but deadly, if someone is around me, I'll use it. It'll make movement and crafting nearly silent for 2 whole minutes, or I'll just sell it for funk. Muscle Man Milk gives you more damage dealt for 2 minutes for 15%. So it could be make or break in a fight, so you'll get an extra 15% damage for 2 minutes. Don't use it when you first get it, only use it when you're going to enter a fight. Iron for Skin reduces incoming damage by 15% for 2 minutes. That's a good one to have. This is if you're about to have a fight. Explosive Runs increases your sprint speed by 25% for 30 seconds. So it's great. Only use it if you want to get away from someone. Medkit restores your health to maximum whatever you're on. If you're missing 1 health, you don't use it. If you're missing a lot of health and you can't be bothered to, or you don't have enough to heal yourself, use it. It'll give you full health off the bat, so very handy indeed. Bandage, if you're it'll just replenish 40 health if you're low. So yeah, bandage is a handy object to have. Regarding traps, steel Punjabi sticks, you place them on the ground. If someone walks over them, so you're chasing, someone walks over them, that will stab them, and that will damage 20 damage straight off the bat. And that will cripple them, it will give them sickness, and that will give them bleed. So, they'll be sick, meaning you have a free shot, or even 2 shots onto someone. So that if you're going to camp in a building, Punjabi sticks are bloody insane. Never sell them, keep them if you've got room on you, because they are very handy. Steel snares, normally I'll sell them, but if I'm going to camp in a building, you can place them down. And that'll only be triggered by an opponent. If someone's put these in a building and you want to get there, just simply put the right analog stick, crouch, and just walk over them. You won't get affected by them. So yeah, if someone's running after you, they'll run over there, they'll get trapped, and they won't be able to move, and that'll do 25 damage straight off the bat. So, and it will hold someone in place. So they're really good. Steel Caltrops I'll always use. They give a 30% cripple and a 1.4% bleed effect. They are very good. So if someone walks them, that'll stab them, and they'll be walking as slow as anything, and that'll give them bleed. So they're very vulnerable to them, and they're bloody handy. Remote explosives I'll generally just sell just for funk. You get them in green drops very often. I do 60 damage and a 5% cripple. So basically, if someone's running after you, or you know someone's going to come outside of a building, place the C4 down. When they're there, just trigger it off, and that'll be a bloody big explosion. And that'll do a lot of damage if you connect them right. Explosive Mine, other known as as Claymores, do 40% damage and 5% cripple. So literally just placing there like the old Call of Duty days. Someone will run, bang, and that'll blow up. So they're handy as well. Impact Grenades are very good. They'll do 40 damage straight off the bat. They detonate as soon as they hit something, and they do 10% cripple. So, impact grenades are very handy. As soon as that, yeah, just blow up just like that. Dynamite is something you can craft, I believe. And that'll do 60% damage, 5% cripple. This is something you always want to use. You just Do that and then just lob it and that'll blow up when the timer runs out, like so. So that's handy. Right, regarding guns. You can either have an airdrop which always gives you a gun. I wouldn't, because I will just say they're not game breaking. So the Magnum, you'll get 6 shots. You can make more bullets at explosive barrels, the red barrels you see around the map. Magnums damage every time that shoots. You got to hit them. They're good, Magnum. You can quick fire quite quickly, but personally, Magnum is probably the worst of the guns and something you should definitely use if you get one. But don't rely on it too much, because as soon as someone hit you, that'll disarm you. Next up, second best gun in my opinion, is the SMG. So you get 20 shots of this. If you connect with every shot, you will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, 100. You'll do 200 damage and wipe someone out. If you connect with every shot, you can spray it. And trust me, SMG is a very good weapon. And you can craft more bullets. But it's not, you ain't going to connect with every shot of that unless you're God. Next up is the rifle. 4 shots, 40 damage per shot. This is something you're going to want. They are very good. And that's a loud noise. You can hear that. You can actually auto-fire this quite quickly. The rifle's the best gun by a mile. You need that in your life if you can. Regarding bows, we're not going to include the crafted bow in this because that's basic. Everyone seems to hate the auto bow, but I love it. I won 2 games in a row yesterday on live stream. If you haven't followed me already on Twitch, it's JK with the AK Live. And the auto bow is good. It only does 8 damage. You can have like 15 bullets with this. 15 times 8 is quite a lot of damage if you can keep your distance. So auto bows, if you get one, I'd hold on to it and get them. Auto bows are decent, but probably the second from worst. Probably the 4th best, no, the 3rd best bow. Next up has got to be the recurve bow. The 8 to 16 damage. They're quite accurate, and recurve bows are decent. They can definitely make a fight hard for your opponent. But the best one by a mile is the compound bow. You can do 20 damage a shot with this. That's half as good as the rifle. So compound bow, you can have a lot more ammo. Compound bow is bloody good, and I should recommend getting one as soon as you can in the game. But you'll get them from airdrops and maybe the late game spawner. I'm not sure. But I believe that is everything, guys, in this combat guide regarding the best weapons. So to recap, the 3 best weapons you want to get when you're going in a building is Brass Knuckles, 3rd, then the Tonfa, then the Tanto Knife is the best weapon you want to get. 2nd is the Kukuri, the Saber, and the, I can't remember the other one. 3rd is the Bowie Knife, the Baseball Bat, and the, was it the Survival Axe? I can't remember. You guys have watched this through. And the top 3 tier 4 weapons is the Sledgehammer, the Trident, and the Katana. So guys, you know what to do. Send me your clips as usual. Keep being awesome at this game. Please do share this video on Twitter and tell your friends about the channel, guys. We're nearly at 12,000 subscribers, which is insane. Leave a like on this video. Comment down below your gamer tag and stuff like that, and I'll add you and get you in the Twitch streams and stuff. And yeah, don't forget to stay awesome. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Adios.